afternoon. My name is Steve Richards. I'm going to the composition class, and this is going to be my project. I do a research about depression in the student life in the transition to the work. So here's the introduction. So let's gonna tell you about the background of this research. So he's Samuel Plack. He did some research about depression, and he says like depression cannot be isolated to one domain, like biology, psychology, or social things. Instead, the depression needs to be addressed like in a multimodal or all the domains combined. So he found that the symptoms are going to be the same across the multiple models. So like a bad mood, deep sadness, like inability to experience the pleasure, or like sleep behaviors like insomnia, or so difficult to concentrate. In the other research, Alison Daly found that citizens from like the Arabic countries, China and Vietnam, that work in Australia, found that these people suffer from depression. So they are facing discrimination, bullying, high work demands, and uncertainty about the future of their work. So she found that being a minority, in the country like you don't belong, is going to be like a high chance like you're going to suffer from depression. And so she said like this could be a factor that could lead like depression is going to be widespread, among like all the ethnic groups. So she Sarah Evans Lacko. She does kind of the same thing about researching the relationship between the employers and the employees. She found that the employers found that depression can lead to loss of productivity in the company. They say like depressed people face, like are more likely to be absent at work. They can ask for time off, or they can do like a regimen in the schedule, like like I just want to work 1 to 2 or something like that. So that's why they say like depressed people can lead to unproductivity. So that's the reason like some Germans are unlikely to refer these people to other companies. And Evans Lacko found like the employers can basically they want to wash their hands. So let's say they're going to suggest you to go to a professional healthcare so they can take over you. So, but most of the employees are trying to conceal depression because they fear the lack of lose their jobs. So that's why the reason they do not conceal. They do not reveal depression. And how much pronounce that? Lisiu. She found like the students need some transferable skills like self-management, information management, performance management, oral communication, and teamwork. These are going to be skills that are going to be needed at the workplace. She said like schools need to show the big picture to the students about like how it's going to be the real work environment, the good side, the bad side. Like many academic courses just focus on the lecture part. Don't do any practices or real experiences in areas, like how it's going to be the environment of the work. That's why the label is kind of scared. So the research I did, I tried to interview 5 students from College of Mainland, 5 College of Mainland staff members, and 5 workers. I performed the interview method, so I asked questions based on the group the person belongs, like students, or either staff, or either workers. So the answers were open-minded. There were no like a good bad answer or something like that. So it was when I asked the questions, I gave the opportunity to the people to express their feelings, their opinions, their concerns. So the analysis, this is some of the the students answer to my questions. So let's say like they do not have like a real decent social life. They don't go out. They don't do like any hobbies or like type of exercise or go to the movies or something like that. So they say like they have more acquaintances than friends. So this let me think like like there are no truly relationship between people, between friends. So they can meet you, they can know you, but they do not consider you as close friends. So they can talk about I'm depressed about this and that. So I found like that their finances were fair, not like that good. So that can lead to have depression because they're gonna think about bills and I'm gonna pay the rent or the classes and all that stuff. So I also found like they are stressed with their lives, between school and work. So probably that is one of the reasons they do not have time to spend out, and they try to conceal their depression. So I see like a trend, like I just want to tell nobody because they say like nobody's gonna care. If I disclose depression, people won't care. So that's one of the answers I found. So from the staff point of view, say like the college needs to be more prepared about depression. Like they need to build more programs that talk about that. Actually, they have like a few things like can improve the esteem, the self-esteem of the students, like psycho success, psychology, physical things, and wellness. But it's not related to like let the student prepare for the work environment. So. Also, the instructors or the college and staff also do the same thing. They try to suggest professional counseling, so they don't try to, they can help but under one limit. So if they try to cross the line, they try to, refer the student to the counseling, professional counseling. The first step, they told me that it's going to be talking to the student. There's always something wrong with you. Are you okay? Everything I can help. So some of them they try to modify, the course, like make the arrangement to do quizzes, tests, like extend the periods, like the due date, like. But they say like they cannot do that much because they have to follow, like syllabus. So they try to do their best. From the coworkers' point of view, I found that some of the employees were part-time, so that's the reason they don't have insurance. So they have like an insensitive boss, like like angry boss. So they don't try to, it's not like approachable. There is no person like they can feel, that they can talk with. Let me see. People are very concerned if they will refer somebody with depression. So again, this is reflecting one of the studies Sarah Evans Lab did. So as we can see a relationship in there. We said no very friendly work environment. So that is the thing. One thing of the colleges need to focus like the work environment is gonna be not like fairy tales and like but beautiful all that stuff. So college needs to address it because you see I'm not working in a friendly environment. So some employees they said that to reduce the stress they will take time out. Like I'm gonna go smoke, I'm gonna go to the bathroom, something like that. So they ask for frequently, like time off things. So they feel like it's very hard to make a relationship between coworkers. So teamwork is gonna be one thing they concern. So it's gonna be hard, to perform teamwork tasks. And some of the limitations I have with that I have few people involved in my research. Actually, I have 15 people. I wish I could have more. And I work in a small demographic area. I only did my research in parts of the mainland. Also time. That was time. I have to do this, like in 1 week and a half time frame. People, it's not like an issue. People try and talk like every day. So concealment or disclosure about their mental illness is going to be like one of the limitations I have because I cannot have like the true picture about what people are, expressing. Yeah, availability. I tried to go to the cultural mail and stuff. They said like they were busy because they were in time registration. They need to like grade tests and all that stuff. So probably their availability was one of the limitations I had. And the approachability, I don't know how to pronounce that word well, but females were more approachable than males. And the conclusion, yeah. So I found like students need more training in the work environment, like they need like real scenarios, like they need more practice how the work is gonna be. Okay, need to improve like teamwork assignments. Like the schools are usually grade every student individually, but they do not grade them like in a teamwork. So they do not like any teamwork assignments. Any teamwork practice thing. Like everything is graded individually. Self-concealment sounds reasonable to the students. So be quiet, be silent. Nobody's gonna care. That's why I'm gonna say something to students advice. So the school needs to work on depression programs to face this thing, the concealment. Another thing that I found is like college need to present their career pathways in the full picture, as Alison said. So they need to present the bad and the good side. Okay, you're gonna have good pay, yes. You're gonna have benefit, yes. But also you're gonna face like outward demands. Also you're gonna face like like 14, 16 hours schedule, something like that. So they need to know like the both sides of the picture. Like I said before, like minorities are more likely to suffer from depression. And of course, depression is going to lead to company losses, so therefore the employers are not going to say, I'm going to refer you to another company, I'm going to write a letter of recommendation for you. So they will say, I'll do it later, I will send you an email, a call you, something like that. But employers are not willing to recommend somebody with mental illness. So that's all. Any questions? Okay, thank you very much for your time.